So you're looking for a killer fish movie, eh? You've come to the right place. Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. I think it was Jaws back in 1975 that sort of cemented our fascination with sharks, giant fish and all those mysterious denizens of the deep, because the deep sea is still the untamed kingdom. It's still the great mystery of the world. We don't really understand the forces at work down there. We don't understand the life forms that are down there. And as we've seen in the last week, the tragedy of the Titanic expedition, the explorers who went to visit the Titanic, their disastrous mission, we've seen that mankind does not rule the waves. And we don't really know exactly what's under there. We're scared of the things that are under there. We're scared of the things that we can't see and we can't dominate. And we certainly can't dominate killer fish, that's for sure. As I said, Jaws was the one that I think kicked it all off back in 1975. It kicked off that obsession with sharks and giant fish. And of course, as a side issue, it kicked off the whole phenomenon of summer blockbusters and the whole idea of big tentpole films in the summer that brought in a lot of money. That all started with Jaws. So the film I'm talking about today is one that's just been released on streaming and it's out on physical media, I think, in a couple of weeks' time. It's called The Black Demon. And it's directed by Adrian Grunberg and stars Josh Lucas as Paul Sturges. He is a representative of Nixon Oil, and he and his family are taking a weekend trip to the resort of Baja off the coast of California. Off the coast there is a rig, a sort of oil rig, that's on the point of being decommissioned. He's there to carry out a survey on it and to find out if it is worth salvaging and saving. In the preamble to the film, we see a couple of workers on the rig suffer a nasty fate when they're attacked by something huge and looming in the water. When the family arrives at Baja, Paul takes a boat out to the rig just to have a quick look round, to come to his conclusions, leaves his family behind. But for various and frankly slightly tortuous reasons, his family have to leave the island and they join him on the rig. When he's got to the rig, he discovers there's two people left on board crewing it, if you like, and a cute dog. Don't worry, the cute dog survives, which is unusual in the film, it is. And when they arrive on the rig, the whole family comes together and the boat that brought them there is destroyed by a megalodon, a giant prehistoric shark-type fish which rises out of the water and demolishes the boat. And this is what's attacked the rig in the past and killed the previous workers there. They're trapped on the rig. The megalodon is circling and attacking the rig, and they're all doomed. And that's basically your plot of this film. For the first 20 minutes, half an hour, I thought, this is actually rather good. This is quite gripping. I'm interested in the characters. I'm interested in the situation. And then it sort of starts to go into a bit of a decline. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of killer fish in this. If you want to see a lot of killer fish action, you need to look elsewhere, because the fish is there. It's a constant threat. You see the shadow of it under the water, and you see it occasionally. But I think the screen time it gets is 2 or 3 minutes at the most, really, which will disappoint people who want to see a lot of killer fish action. But you don't get it in this film. What you get instead is a film that's a bit preachy. It's a number of different things. It's a bit mystical, a bit of mystical mumbo jumbo. It's a bit of environmental tub thumping. It's having a go at big business and corporations and organisations that ride roughshod over human interest. It's a stew of all this stuff, and as a result, it's not hugely satisfying. Possibly mainly because there's not enough big shark action. The elements of the film are that the workers on the rig, they're sort of superstitious, and they believe that this extinct creature has been brought back to life by a vengeful god who wants to protect the sea and the environment, which it feels is in danger from humanity's abuse of the environment. You've got Paul Sturges, who's on the island, and as we discover, he's got his own secrets. He's not as innocent as he might appear, because the fate of the rig sort of depends on actions that he takes. So there's a lot going on. but none of it's as interesting as the shark that we signed on to see. It's an odd one. I sort of enjoyed it. As I said, the first 20 minutes or so, this is actually very good. I'd read some fairly sort of iffy reviews of it. And as I got further into the film, I could sort of see why they were slightly iffy, because it doesn't really deliver on what you really want. When you watch one of these films, whether it's Sharknado or Deep Water or any of these films, you want to see, you want to see the shark. And we have this fascination with people being eaten by sharks and attacked by sharks. And it is something that's sort of a black part of our nature, that we like to see stuff like that. But when you watch a film like this, and when you go in to watch a film like this, you want to see a bit of that sort of stuff, and this doesn't deliver. Instead, it sort of ladles on all this mystical stuff and this environmental sort of finger wagging that we're abusing the world. Where we know that. But it isn't a bad film. It's sort of fitfully enjoyable. It's only about 95 minutes. Performances are fairly decent. They're a little bit histrionic in places. I think that Josh Lucas, who I believe has been in things like Yellowstone, his performance sort of tips over into the slightly over hysterical in places, and their character relationships are a bit up and down as well. His wife, when she discovers something about Paul, she's sort of furious with him and really angry that he's done what he's done in the past, and then the next scene she's all sort of smiles and working with him and the rest of the family to try and solve their predicament. So the characterizations and the character motivations are a bit sloppy and a bit all over the place. And as I said, the performances are sort of up and down because the script does get a little bit sort of uneven in places. And I think that Josh Lucas's performance in particular suffers a little bit because of that. His performance seems to be two different characters at some points. But having said that, it's not a waste of time. I think it works because the threat is there, this thing, rather than actually seeing it. It's nicely filmed. The locations are really nice. So it's got a cinematic look to it. But unfortunately, it doesn't deliver the sort of the shark or megalodon action that we might have expected. So if you are looking for a film like this, it's somewhere in the middle of these sorts of films. It's certainly not as tacky as the Sharknado films, but not as accomplished even as things like 47 Meters Down, and although it wasn't a big fish film, Crawl, which came out a couple of years ago. Better made films with better scripts and better performances. But this, for what it is, it's not a bad film, and it's worth a look if you're looking for something water-based to cool you off in this hot weather. As The Black Demon is out now on streaming and will be available on physical media beginning of next month, I think. Right, thank you for watching this quick video. I know I haven't done anything for a little while. It's been a busy week. Actually, it's not been a busy week particularly. It's just been a hot week. It's like the weather's been pretty hot the last few days, and I've just been chilling a bit, taking it easy and doing a few odds and sods. But we'll be back with more stuff soon. Of course, we've got the new Indiana Jones film out on Wednesday. It's Saturday at the moment. I've been watching lots of Glastonbury coverage because I'm an armchair Glastonbury fan, particularly watching the heritage acts. The acts I've seen: Texas, Sparks, Lightning Seeds, Rick Astley, Mannix. I like those sort of classic artists rather than the rappers and dance artists who, popular at some of the smaller stages. So I've been enjoying Glastonbury, but I will hopefully in the next day or so be watching Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, getting my review of it up here before Wednesday's review of The Dial of Destiny. And then at the end of that review, I'll rank the Indiana Jones films in my order of preference. You can probably work out what that's going to be. It's probably the same as most people's. So that's coming up in the next few days. Thank you for watching. Before I go, I just want to mention a YouTube channel of a friend of mine. I've given him a mention because he'd like a few more subscribers, and his name is the Celtic Druid. Andrew Dexter, who lives in the village further up from me, and he does videos, local history videos, family things. He doesn't necessarily do film reviews and all the sort of stuff I do, but he just does sort of day-to-day domestic videos. As I say, he does sort of historical things. He goes down to the south coast around Bournemouth and Poole quite a lot. So if you're interested in taking a look at him, he's the Celtic Druid. Have a look at his channel and subscribe and like and say that I sent you. That would be cool too. Right, thank you for watching. I will see you soon. Until I do, watch The Black Demon and keep taking the stuff.